What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. It's a term that I've used a couple of times on this channel, and it's a term that I'm sure most black people have heard growing up if you lived in any type of family structure, whether it was two parent, particularly, but even one parent, you heard this term. What happens in this house stays in this house. Keep what goes on in this house under this roof only. And there are other variations of the same statement. Um, the more I watch us as black people and how we respond to things that other black people do, the more it begs the question in my mind: do black people hate black people the most? We know we live in a racist society. We know we live under white supremacist umbrella. This country was founded on that premise. There's no denying that. Anybody who denies that or tries to dispute that is either blind, ignorant, in denial, or part of the structure. But what has happened to us is that now every little thing that we do um, that's out of pocket, it gets blown up 20,000 fold initially by American media, but then once American media throws the alley oop, us as black people, we catch it and windmill it and dunk that thing in. And while I do believe that that is by design as well, because the media machine is the one who initially puts whatever big story that happens, they the one who put it out. Um, Once it rains down onto us, we scramble like ants in an attempt to now judge, belittle, laugh at, make mockery, and make all different types of statements, condemn, cancel, anything, any other term you can apply to our own people. And we always do it from a angle as if we ourselves as individuals are flawless, if as if we as individuals have not uh, committed any wrong acts in our life, and we are ready to throw each other to the wolves, throw each other to the lions, throw each other in the crocodile pit the first time a black person gets out of pocket. Now, I always have to say this when I make videos like this. Don't ever think that I'm condoning any messed up thing that we may do. Somebody black goes out and commits a murder. Somebody black um, performs a act of sexual assault or some crap like that, or somebody uh, stealing, whatever it is. I'm not condoning any of that. I'm saying that we seem to be the only race who is on autopilot when it comes to getting out there and exposing and talking bad about our dirty laundry. We have no problems putting it out. We benefit from it in a lot of cases. And now in this social media era, with social media and the podcast and whatever other means that this information gets put out, um, you don't see a lot of white people doing whole shows about this. You don't see a lot of Asian people or Latino people doing whole shows about what we have going on in our community. Um, they don't even do it a lot within their own communities. We are the dominant presence as it relates to exposing each other's whatever. And some of it is for uh, to build up your platform. Some of it is for clicks and views. But I think that a lot of it is rooted in just a self hate, which that self hate is actually hate for your brother and your sister, especially in cases where we see somebody in a position where they come across their downfall, like somebody who was on top, and then all of a sudden they gone, they in prison, or they just got canceled so hard that because of something that they may have done, and now they have went from the mountaintop all the way down into the valley, and we as black people in a lot of cases we celebrate it. Ha ha, that's what he get. Ha ha, that's what she get. Ha, shouldn't have did this. Shouldn't have been doing this with that one. That's what you get. Ha ha, remember what you said. Remember this quote you said. Let's pull up this quote you said. That's what you get. And while I understand in some cases where you can look at um, some of the sellouts among us, because there are sellouts among us, I can understand where that comes from in certain situations, because if you have an individual who has never shown nothing uh, but hate towards his own people, then when they got successful, then they really seem to turn their back on black people. Then it's human nature to a degree that if or when that person falls, everybody who believes that they got boo-booed on are gonna be like, ha ha, now look at you now, look at you now. I understand that. But even so, I just wish that there was a way for us to not expose that. And I know what some people think, hey, well, man, hey, they acted a fool outwardly. They were on these different news channels and these shows just hamming it up, you know. So yeah, so they get it. They did it. They did it in public, so they get it in public. You know, I get that. But there are so many other cases as well where we just need to just be quiet and address this in-house, because it's counterproductive to our rise. And so many people, black people, will say, look, man, we got to unify. We need to rise up as a people. We need to rise up as a people and unify. But it's such a counterproductive act to every time one of us gets jammed up, or one of us, even when they out of pocket, to just celebrate it and glorify it, or throw swords at that person, when they down. And I hope y'all understand the place I'm coming from. I don't want y'all to think for 1 minute I'm coming from a place of defending, any sellouts. But I'm talking about regular black people who just make a mistake. The 17-year-old kid who did something out of pocket. The 28-year-old woman who messed up and did something out of pocket, or whatever it is. We got to factor in all of the root causes, whether it be mental illness, whether it be circumstances based on the environment you came up in. All of these different things got to be factored in, whether just plain out ignorance and stupidity. We factor in all these things, and then we rally as a people in the community and say, all right, well, let's address this internally and let's figure out how to fix these problems. Easier said than done, but we celebrate each other's downfalls a little bit too much for my liking, man. So let's see what we can do about that. All right, man, it's your big brother K-Rino. We got a bigger enemy that's already on our head, man. So we gotta make sure that we focus on that enemy instead of the one that's in the mirror that looks just like us. All right, man, it's your big brother K-Rino. I'll catch y'all later on tomorrow. Peace.